morning everyone. This is Nirmala Kumari, Assistant Professor from Jamnilal College, Hajipur. Today I am going to teach you the doctrine of caveat emptor, which comes under Sale of Goods Act. Now we'll see meaning of caveat emptor. What does it means? So caveat emptor is a Latin word which means buyer beware. According to this principle or according to this rule, it is been responsibility of a buyer to check the quality, quantity, suitability of the goods for the purpose for which he is going to buy the goods, and once he is satisfied with everything, then he purchase the goods. After that, he has no right to return the goods to the sellers. Or as another words, we can say that doctrine of caveat emptor lays down fundamental principle that a buyer shall be aware of his responsibility to check the quality and suitability of the product that he is purchasing, and once he is satisfied, he should have no right to reject the product. Now we'll see what are the conditions in which the rule or the doctrine of caveat emptor is not applicable. So number one is implied condition regarding quality or fitness. Number two is sale of goods by description. Number three is usage or trade. Number four is sale under a patent or trade name. Number 5 is sale by sample. Number 6 is mispresentation, and number 7 is consent by fraud. So number 1 is implied conditions regarding quality or fitness. When the seller is aware of the purpose for which the buyer requires the product, and when the buyer relies on the judgment and skill of the seller, there is an implied condition that the product purchased served the purpose for which it was bought. It means that if the seller knows the purpose for which the buyer is going to buy the goods, and buyer gives his is dependent on the skill and judgment of the seller, then in that situation the seller gives the good which is not up to the usage or up to the purpose for which it is being sold. So in that situation the buyer has a right to return the goods or claim for damage. Next is sale of goods by descriptions. Sometimes it happens that we read the description. Sometimes this description about the product has been written over the product. But when we buy the product, we found that this goods is not up to the description. So in that situation, the buyer has a right to go for claim for his price or return of the goods. Usage or trade. Proof of reasonable usage or custom of trade may also establish an implied condition with regard to quality or fitness of goods for a particular purpose. Usage of trade, here it means that the goods which is going to be sold or which has been sold will be able to use. So if the goods is not able to use or not fit to use, then the buyer has a right for claim or return of the. Next is sale under patent or trademark. Sometimes it happens that we purchase goods based on the trade and patent mark. As we know, the patent or trademark goods generally they have a specific quality, specific specification. Due to that, people used to purchase the goods. But it sometimes happen under a particular or branded patent or trademark, the goods are not up to their patent or trademarks. So in that situation, if the company is selling goods or the seller is selling goods based on the patent or trademark, but goods is not up to that quality or up to the standard of patent or trademark, so in that situation the rule of caveat emptor is not applicable. Next is sale by sample. Sometimes it happens that we purchase the goods based on the sample. It usually happens with us. For example, we go to the mobile shop and we see the dummy model. Based on dummy model, we purchase the original ones. So if sale by sample, in case if we have seen the sample but whatever product we have purchased is not up to the sample, so in that scenario the doctrine of caveat emptor is not applicable. Next is mispresentation. Mispresentation means showing something and the product is different. Mispresentation. Presentation will be of false in nature. So in such situation, caveat emptor will not apply. Such a contracting being voidable at the option of the innocent party, the buyer has right to resign the contract. Next is consent by fraud. The doctrine of caveat emptor shall not apply to all those purchases which have been made by a buyer under a contract where the seller obtained the consent by fraud. A seller who is guilty of fraud shall have no protection of doctrine of caveat emptor.